is my bodyguard, by the way. No, actually, Andrew's birthday is tomorrow, and he wanted to say, hey, if everybody else's birthday, why don't we see show everybody's mine too? So, very This is Andrew. He's turning 7 tomorrow, so you want to say hi? Hi. You can sit down if you want to.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Andrew. Happy birthday to you.
And this is why I should bring my cell phone with me up here.
I have no idea.
I can make faces now. You know what's funny about this? Yeah. What's funny about that is that the air conditioner was practically out in Muskogee last year. You guys remember that?
Yeah.
I mean, it was so hot in there. But anyways, on a more serious note, Miss Jackie Bunn is with us today. And Miss Bunn, I'm not trying to bring up the sore subject, but our hearts and prayers is with her husband. Her husband recently, actually with Miss Bunn, her husband just recently passed away. He served our country proudly. We're going to have a funeral, I believe, for him Tuesday at noon at Fort Gibson. And we just want to say, Miss Bunn, thank you. She's been such a great volunteer for us. But we know her husband's in a better place. He was a good Christian man, and we all want to. Well, I want to tell everybody thank you. It was a year ago when I first got to get up here and address everyone, and it was the first time I really spoke publicly about politics, other than just to my TV and my wife. And I was nervous, and I'm still nervous. It's a heavy responsibility, and I just want to tell you thank you, because you know what happened June 26th. Was the absolute most humbling experience that I've ever probably been with the exception of my wife saying yes and my kids being born. To have so many people come out and say, Markwayne, you're our guy. Markwayne, we believe in you. You speak the way we speak. You talk the way we talk. We're tired of all this political talking points. We're tired of people getting up there and just saying things, but they don't really have to live the things they say. We were looking for someone different. And I didn't see it. I got into it because I was fed up. I was fed up because of what the government's doing to me personally. I was fed up because every time I turn around, I've got the federal government trying to tell me how to create jobs when they're costing jobs. I've got the federal government constantly trying to tell me a new way and a better way to do business, and the only thing they're doing is throwing the Constitution completely out and saying, we know best. We didn't live in a country like that. That wasn't what our founding fathers did. They didn't go up there because they had experience. They got up there because they represented the people around them. They got up there because people understood that they understood their issues, not because they voted a certain way. They did it because they lived it. You know, everybody can learn something, but if you don't have first-hand experience in it, are you as passionate about it? If you've never dealt with the EPA, do you really know what it's like when one of them walks in your door? If you never dealt with the Department of Labor or the Federal Labor Department, do you know what it's like when they come in and tell you that you've got an employee classified wrong because he picked up a pair of pliers and he can no longer be an apprentice, he's a toolsman? I mean, seriously, do you know what it's like when you go to an unemployment hearing because you had to fire a guy because he stole from you, and the unemployment officer says, well, since there's not a police report or police charges filed, we're going to give him unemployment. And you're saying, well, I've got to replace him. Or a workers' comp case goes out and he's been off for 4 days, but he comes in on Monday and all of a sudden he hurt his knee Wednesday before he took off work. And how dare you question something like that? Well, the only thing you're doing is trying to protect all the rest of the employees that work for you because they're good, honest people. It's the 1% that gets all the attention. I'm fed up with it. Do you really know what it's like the day Obamacare got upheld for our judicial system? And I had to sit there and go immediately and call my officers of the company and say, we're going to have to start a separate savings account because we just took a $250,000 hit. Because we have well over 120 employees, we're going to be paying a minimum of an extra $2,000 an employee in a tax. Just a ploy for our federal government bill to hold it up, or bill to uphold a law that is a mandate and they're disguising it as a tax. Guys, it makes me sick to my stomach. And I know you guys are fed up the same way I am. And it's time we stand up and we do something about it. You know, we can't no longer sit back and expect to elect the same type of people because they got a background in something. We got to stand up and say, I'm willing to actually take a sacrifice from my own life and go serve, and I'm okay if I've got to stand up against my own party. I'm okay if I've got to stand up and walk right through the room and everybody else is trying to stay to the side because they don't want to get their feet muddy because they have politics as a career. Amen. They're trying to find the next stepping stone, the next pay increase. They're too afraid to take on the tough challenges and be a real leader. A real leader has to stand up. A real leader has to have a vision past the next election. A real leader's got to understand, what is your 5-year goal? What is your 10-year goal? And then be willing to make the tough decision today, knowing darn good and well it just might cost you your election. Are you willing to fire yourself? What do you have to come back home to? Do you have real skin in the game? When you're making a decision, are you making a decision because that's what the party wants? Are you making a good decision because that's the new talking point? Because it seems like when we get some of these stupidest bills passed, it's because it's the flavor of the month. It's because that's where everybody's going. That's why we got stuff like the Patriot Act. That's why we got stuff like the No Child Left Behind. It's because everybody wants to go because it's got a good cover. But what about being a leader and saying, I don't care if it's got a good cover. It's not right. It doesn't line up with the Constitution. Those are the people that we got to see. Those are the people that we have to send. Ones that are willing to fire themselves to do what's right. I'm telling you, there won't be anybody that will outwork me and fight harder for what the Constitution is meant to stay and meant to say. I will give you 100% because not only do I got real skin in the game, but I've got 3 kids watching every move I make. I would rather die than to do something dishonest or do something to manipulate my way to get something that I'm trying to achieve. I've got 3 kids that's going to hold me accountable. And the decisions we make today are going to affect what they do in the future. That's right. I'm asking for your support and your help. We've got a long ways to go. We don't just have August 28th, but we got November 6th. And then we've got 6 years after that. I need your help supporting me, and I need your help defending me. Because we already know the bloodbath that the other party can bring. We already know the character assassination that they're willing to bring. We already see some of that going on. I'm not willing to stand for it. The more arrows and more rocks that are thrown, the more my jaw gets set, and I say, this is why I'm doing this. I want to tell everybody thank you so much once again. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have. You come and see me. We're going to talk. At the same time, I just want to say thank you to my wife. She has been a super support of mine. Thank you to my baby girl, Lara, for giving so much for Daddy. Thank you to Jim and Andrew for sharing their birthdays with everybody else. And so everybody, thank you so much. I look forward to visiting you.